Hello, welcome back to Life on the Fringe. Today, I wanted to do uh, something a little bit different, something a little bit special, because this month is my birthday month. Ooh, February. So I thought that I would kind of dip my toe into like zodiac things. Controversial statement, but I don't know how much stock I put into horoscopes. I think they're interesting, and if I like am reading a newspaper, I'll look at my horoscope. Um, but I also think that a lot of these traits that we attribute to each of these signs are pretty general, and so I don't. It's like, yeah, sure, maybe I value intelligence. I feel like that's true for a lot of people, and a lot of my friends who aren't Aquariuses. It's just it's very interesting, and it's very easy to just like confirm like things that they're telling you about yourself, because they are pretty general characteristics. But today I'm going to put aside my skepticism and dive into my sun sign and my star chart. So without further ado, let's start this off by figuring out if how much of an Aquarius am I? BuzzFeed, tell me. I'm sure you're the definitive source on this topic. Sorry, skepticism is over there. I am creative. I don't know if I would consider myself necessarily creative. I write songs, but again, this is like, on what scale is this? Because I definitely know people more creative than me. Um, I'm not gonna put it. I'm not gonna put it. Okay. I would say, yeah, I have an open mind. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm friendly. I'm pretty shy and hard to get to know. I'm unique. Well, doesn't everybody think they're unique? I'm sure I'm like a lot of other people. Sure, I feel misunderstood. I'm an angsty teen at heart. I have a natural curiosity. Eh. Yeah, I work on this in therapy. I do tend to be emotionally detached. I'm horrible at technology. I would consider myself very loyal. Sure. But this is the thing though, like, okay, am I the right person to be answering these questions for myself? Like, I seek to correct injustice, or I'm loyal. I mean, is anybody going to admit that they're not loyal, or that they just would let injustice stand? Like, that's a horrible way to phrase that, you know? Whatever. Okay, I'm a horrible liar. No. I wish. I wish I were a terrible liar, but I'm not. Uh, yeah, I would say I'm a good listener. Well, I mean, would you give advice if you didn't think it was good? Again, I don't understand. I'd say yeah, people do reach out to me when they need help. I dream big. Yep. Probably should be more afraid to share some of my opinions. Although I think I'm pretty diplomatic. Okay, now independence is something that I don't like to be told what to do, and in that way I'm independent. But I think most people don't like to be told. Well, not most people. Some people really like being told what to do. Um, but I don't like being told what to do. But I like to do things more, I guess, as a team. But not maybe when it comes to work. I guess I don't know. Stan and I do most things together. I don't know. If I'm not sure, I'm gonna just leave it as an unchecked mark, by the way, as you've seen it, as I'm scrolling through this. And that's because I feel like if I can't definitively say that I am this thing, then I wouldn't characterize it as a central component to my personality. In which case, I don't think that it's not defining to me. So I'm not going to count it because I feel like if for this to be true, it would need to be like, oh, absolutely. Yes, so me. Yes, 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 yes. And I don't know. But maybe that's because I'm an Aquarius and it's all like one big circle because if I'm an Aquarius, I want to be unique, quirky, different. I don't want to be like the other Aquariuses. So maybe me taking this test is more point that I'm an Aquarius than what a quiz could ever show. Yeah, in general, maybe, sure. I'm fairly sarcastic. Yes, I bottle my emotions. Definitely careful who I trust. Adaptable. I have pretty severe anxiety, so I don't know if I would say I'm adaptable. I'm gonna put no for that. I embrace change. Depends on the type of change. I hate saying goodbye to people. I don't like it when my friendship group changes. I'm gonna put no. I'm too anxious. I'm resilient. No, that's definitely not true. I hate being told what to do or think. Sure, yeah. My rebellious nature has gotten me in trouble before. Music? Who doesn't? I enjoy science fiction. Absolutely not. I have a great sense of humor. No. People find me fun to be around. I'm gonna say no. I enjoy deep philosophical discussions. Yes. I'm easygoing. Absolutely not. Uh, Pretty open to like new ideas and suggestions and like, but I like to have a plan. So because I like to have a plan, I would say I'm not easygoing. Uh, I have a hard time expressing my emotions. Yes. I'm not the sentimental type. Oh no, I think I collect everything. I could be a hoarder if I let it get out of control. I'm good at concealing my emotions. Yeah. Is that a me thing or is that like a mental health thing though? You know? I don't let everyone see the real me. Sure. Although again, is that not anxiety? I'm ambitious. I think when I'm well, I can be ambitious. I'm driven when I can be. I tend to cancel plans at the last minute. Oh, yeah, definitely. But again, this is like the John Mulaney. I don't know if you've seen the John Mulaney thing where it's like canceling plans is like heroin. There's like nothing like the instant relief of not having to do something. I find that to be incredibly true. Like, I'll make a plan, I'll be all excited, happy about the plan, and then it'll be the day of the plan. And I'm just like, no, I'd rather stay in. That's why I've been staying in. My thought process can be incoherent and my mind jumps from one place to the next. I don't think it's incoherent. It may be difficult to understand to an outsider. I learn from my mistakes and I don't repeat them. Yeah, sure. I see the best in people. No. Uh, well, sometimes. I'm so bad at these types of fucking quizzes. Do I see the best in people? Well, I don't open up to people because I, in general, don't think that they're worthy of trust. But I do try to understand where everyone is coming from. So because of that, I'll put yes. I do want to know, even people who I feel like people I've disagreed with, or people that have hurt me in the past. I feel like I do try to understand where those actions are coming from. So in that way, I do see the best in people. But I think it's more to do with like empathizing than it is actively categor like actively categor actively cataloging all of the good things about that person. I sincerely believe that people are capable of changing for the better. Yeah, if that's not true, that this is the problem with like not believing in that people are capable of change, then that means you're admitting that you're not capable of change. And I do think most people have changed, from like when they were young to now. And not just in like a growing up and mature, well, partially in like a maturing way, but also just like learning from experience, you know? I think it's very hard, but otherwise, why would anybody get help? Like if it were true that people aren't changing for the better, then what is the point in like working out or going to therapy or going to school? Like people actively try to change themselves for the better, and they wouldn't do that if it weren't possible. So I'm willing to give people second chances. Yeah, not endlessly. Um, but I do give people second chances. People make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. I'm a free spirit. What does that mean? I don't know. People with big egos bother me 100%. Arrogance is the least attractive thing to me. I dance to the beat of my own drum. Yeah, I won't do something just because everyone else is doing it. I'm not for everyone. Is anybody for everyone? I don't know. I tend to overthink. I just said I tend to overthink things. I'm a quick learner. Yeah, I'd say so. I have a niche interest or hobby. Yeah, not everybody has hamsters. I listen to indie music. This is so horrible. If you're born in February and you don't listen to indie music, are you even an Aquarius? What? You like pop music? That's so crazy. Isn't that counterintuitive to your hippie nature? Could you imagine? Like sometimes it bothers me if it's like, oh yeah, Aquarius, uh, so free spirited. That would mean that like a twelfth of the population, I don't know how many zodiac signs there are, but basing off months, approximately a twelfth of the population are hippies. That's obviously not the case. Like, if these things were so like definitive, I feel like you should be able to meet a person and know what their sign is. But I guess that's where you look into like the larger charts and stuff. But yeah, I listen to indie music, but I don't exclusively or listen to indie music or even the majority of my music. So I'm gonna not put that. I go with the flow. I have a very hard time going with the flow. I like a plan. I'm not afraid to speak my mind. Yep. Stubborn. Go against the grain. Oh, definitely not comfortable in every social situation. I can get along with all different types of people. I think that's true. Unless you're like a horrific person. My friend group consists of people from all walks of life. Sure. I'm outgoing. No. I'm outspoken. Definitely. I tend to get stuck in my own head. Clearly, it's taken me like 30 minutes to do a BuzzFeed quiz. What was the right answer? Are all of these supposed to be Aquarius traits? And if so, that's a horribly biased quiz. Well, that was disappointing. So now that we've learned that nothing, basically, now that we've learned nothing, I'm going to look at my at some of the Aquarius stereotypes and see if I think they're true, and then we'll look at my star chart. So these are 7 Aquarius stereotypes. I can't read. These 7 Aquarius stereotypes are more true than you may expect. If they're true at all, it's more than I expect. I didn't put the skepticism hat aside. They like to use analytics to rationalize situations, so you'll never find them following instincts or emotions. Never. Sometimes. Sometimes things have to be made emotionally. But yeah, in general, sure, I tend to consider myself a rational person. They often don't display emotions. While they don't like to be overly emotional on the outside, that isn't to say they don't still experience the same emotions as anyone else. They just happen to do it in a much more quiet and internal way. So you'll never see them break down in tears while watching a movie. Pfft, joke's on you. I'll cry at movies, I don't cry at funerals. Oh, I disagree with this entirely. I mean, yes, I would say I'm very guarded with my emotions. I don't like sharing them with people. So, yes, I do agree with the statement that they don't often display emotions when it comes to like the big emotions about important things. But when it comes to like watching a movie, I wouldn't say for me that this is true. I cry at like if there's like I cry at movies very easily, I would say, compared to other people. But when it comes to like if I'm really grieving, like I said at a funeral, I tend to not cry during they're clever. And if you're not an Aquarius, you aren't. Those with the Aquarius sign are used to using their heads to find a way around the rules so they can do whatever they like. Now, okay, that's pretty accurate. And mixed results. Mixed results. 58%. Whatever. Okay. So supposedly one of the reasons why uh, looking at just your sun sign uh, is inaccurate or can leave you feeling like horoscopes are wrong is because it doesn't take in everything into account the way that your star chart or your natal chart uh, does. So I'm gonna like read through this and see like what's interesting, but I do feel like something to note is that if you have like conflicting things, so say like Aquarius is uh, unemotional, but whatever sign that's still a part of their chart is passionate, you can be like, oh, okay, so it's not actually inaccurate. I just have to also consider this. And then you can very easily, I feel, pick out what matches and then be like, oh, yeah, see, my star chart accounts for all the things wrong with my sun sign. So I really have not taken off the skepticism hat. We talked about Aquarius. So you have to look at the moon. The moon represents the emotional responses, unconscious predestination. Oh, God, predestination. And the self image. The moon represents the emotions, and the moon sign shows how a person expresses themselves when at home, at ease, and comfortable. What the hell is the sun? The sun represents vitality, a sense of individuality, and the outward shining creative energy. So, like what you put out to the world versus who you are on the inside. That's dumb. All these are personality traits. What? Why does anybody give 2 pennies about like how they're perceived in the outer world and then take it into heart as who they are if your moon sign is actually like who you really are? See, this is what I'm saying. I feel like this is just a way for them to get me to buy into this. Whatever. Pisces. Lunar Pisces are known to be dreamy and not always in touch with reality. However, though those people may not always show real-world savvy in day-to-day practical affairs, they make up for this with remarkable intuition. They can put themselves in anybody's shoes with extreme ease. On the plus side, this endows them with a remarkable compassion and love. The downside with this apparent ability to break down boundaries is that these people can easily lose themselves in the suffering of others. Their sense of humor is delightfully silly and a bit odd. They're a perceptive soul who tends to be in touch with all nuances and subtleties of human nature. Often this comes through in a strong sense of humor that is more more of the receptive kind, and the type of sense of humor that would make people the life of the party. It's generally pretty easy to get them giggling. Oh, I don't think I don't think I laugh super easily. But, okay, so I don't know if I agree with this whole humor analysis, but I would say I am pretty bad at practical affairs and real world day-to-day tasks. I would say that's accurate. Uh, and I do think empathy is one of my strong suits. I would say I'm a pretty empathetic person. And I do think I'm fairly perceptive when it comes to what other people need and are going through. Though some are doormats, okay. Though some are doormats, most Pisces moon people instinctively know when they're due for a much needed recharge. Oh my god, that's so funny. So my Aquarius sign says I'm not sentimental, but apparently my moon says I have too much sentimentality. You see how, like, if I'm sentimental, I could say, well, it's because my moon sign says that I'm actually sentimental, but I just don't show it to the world because of my sun sign, or whatever, or because this is like what you will become, like your predetermined personality, your moon sign, that if you aren't sentimental still, it's because you haven't developed it yet. So my rising is Aries. So I'm Aquarius sun, Pisces moon, Aries rising. What is the rising? House 1 is the area of self-identity. The ascendant is a symbol of how one acts in life. It is the image of the personality as seen by others, and the attitude that one has towards life. How is that different than the sun? They're direct and quick. Their first instinct is to do rather than think. So basically the opposite of Aquarius. Also, I don't think this is me, but I am direct. Headaches, sinus, and eye problems are usual physical complaints of this position. Who doesn't have these problems? Rashes and acne on the face and shoulders sometimes occur. Broad shoulders and slim hips. I don't know if that's me. The shoulders are not particularly broad. So to conclude, I would just say I had a really good time making this video. I think looking up horoscopes is really fun. I personally enjoy, as you saw, overthinking things and arguing and debating, so I had a very good time criticizing everything I read. But I also think it's fun to be introspective and, like, take personality type tests or look up zodiac things and see what they say about your personality, and do you think it matched, does it not match? I think that's just very enjoyable. I've also had a good time in the past looking up compatibility. So Stan and I are going to make a video to see if we are compatible, and how compatible are we. And that'll be fun. I have enjoyed doing that kind of stuff in the past. So even though I don't really buy into horoscopes that much, or really at all in terms of like the overall personality things, I do think it's fun to do, even if it's a bit of a magic trick. But if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of our content, click subscribe, ding the bell button to know when we post. Most importantly, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.